In an interview with Newsfest, chairman of the Lanka Petrol Wholesale Storage Terminal Company, Major General M.R.W. De Souza said that construction of the new pipeline system transporting fuel from the Colombo port to Kolonnawa is expected to be completed by mid-next year.
On numerous occasions, oil leaks were reported in the pipeline transporting fuel from the Colombo port to Kolonnawa. The chairman of the Lanka Petroleum Wholesale Storage Terminal Company says that the existing pipeline is over 40 years old.
Back in
1994, attention was drawn towards repairing the pipeline. However, there was no progress made and the project was not implemented. In 2007, we initiated this project with determination. We believe this would cost $40 to $45 million. Therefore, we expect to obtain this amount on a long-term loan scheme of 15 to 20 years. The chairman also spoke about the benefits of the project.
සාමාන්‍ය දින 4කට 5කට වගේ කාලයක් යනවා දැනට නැමින් තෙල් මෙහාට ට්‍රාන්ස්ෆර් කරන එක ඒක දින 2ක වගේ කාලයකට අපි අඩු කරත හැකියි. අඟල් 18
It usually takes around 4 to 5 days to transfer oil from the vessel to this location. We can reduce this to 2 days. By laying 18-inch pipes, we can reduce the time taken to transfer oil by 50%. Once a contractor is selected, this project can be completed in 10 to 12 months. We need to complete construction of the pipeline by mid next year if it is to become a success.
සැලසුම් කරලා තියෙන්නේ සියලු දේ සාර්ථක කරනවා නම් අපිට එන වසරේ මැදට ඉස්සෙල්ලා මේ නළල මාර්ගය අපිට සාධාරණ නිම කළ හැකියි.
He added that alternative locations have been given to families who reside close to the pipeline.
අයින් කළ යුතු අය ප්‍රමාණය
The number of families that were to be evacuated was reduced from 400 to 80 because we reduced the land area. The Urban Development Authority has taken measures to secure a plot of land belonging to the Department of Railways in order to construct 80 houses for these people. The people will be evacuated and settled in 3 months. These people are very happy to live in the houses that have been provided to them.
අපි එයා ඉවත් කරලා පදිංචි කිරීමට කටයුතු කරා. එයාත් ඉතාමත් සන්තෝෂයෙන් මේ ගෙවල් වල ගිහලා දැන් පදිංචිලා ඉන්නවා.
Lanka G is a religious and a cultural bridge constructed between Sri Lanka and Japan. News First takes a look.
This vihara, which has been constructed in scenic environment near the Narita airport in Japan, has been named as Lanka G Vihara. A human service is rendered by this vihara, which is nearly 30 years old. The environment surrounding the vihara is covered with snow during this time of the year, adding to its beauty. It is the chairman of the Sri Lanka Mahabodhi Society, Venerable Banagala Upatisatthera, who is responsible for introducing this vihara, which is the first Theravadi temple in Japan. The Lanka G Vihara rendered an immense service in education, culture and economic sectors. The cultural relationship between the two countries is strengthened by this. Therefore, I consider the Lanka G Vihara as a cultural bridge linking Japan and Sri Lanka. I believe this temple has contributed towards strengthening the relationship between the two countries. Venerable Banagala Upatisatthera, who is dedicated for social service, commenced Sri Lanka's first Yoshida preschool in 1979 with the assistance of Yoshida Shokanji. Banagala Thera, who thereafter established an international school in the island, has now commenced the construction activities of a university in Sanchi, India. We hope to enroll the first batch of students for the Sanchi Buddhist University by the end of 2013. It will be a small number. We hope to increase the numbers step by step. While the buildings are being constructed, the university activities will be carried out at a rental building. I hope it will be converted into a multifaceted university within the next 2 or 3 years.
Yet another episode of the Satana political program was broadcast on our sister channel Sirsa TV yesterday. The topic of discussion was economic challenges. Minister of Technology, Research and Atomic Energy Patali Champika Ranawaka spoke on the Sampur coal power plant project being constructed in collaboration with India.
රාජතාන්ත්‍රිකව ගත්තොත් කිසි ගැටලුවක් නැහැ අපි එකඟ වෙලා තියෙනවා ඉන්දියාවේ NTPC ආයතනයත් ලංකා විදුලි බල මණ්ඩලයත් ඒකාබද්ධ වෙලා සමාගමක් හදලා එම සමාගම මගින්
Diplomatically, there is no issue. We have agreed that the Indian NTPC and the CEB would form a joint company and construct a 500 megawatt power plant in the Sampur area. There is no diplomatic issue about this between the two nations. Due to the war in the area, we could not carry out a feasibility study. We commenced it in 2010 and it ended in February 2012. This is when we identified the cost that would be incurred, the engineering estimates and other things like the efficiency of the plant. We noticed that the numbers that we thought of earlier did not correspond with the values of the feasibility study. We suggested that India take several technical steps. That was our stance and that remains my stance.
එතකොට මෙන්න මේ ඉලක්කම් අපි ඉන්දියාවට යෝජනා කරා මෙන්න මේ තාක්ෂණික කාරණා යොදන්න කියලා. ඉතින් ඒක තමයි මගේ ස්ථාවරය. මම අදටත් ඉන්නේ ඒ ස්ථාවරේ.
According to the new feasibility report, there is a benefit for Sri Lanka. If India agrees to it, then there is no issue.
අනිවාර්යයෙන් කිසිම ගැටලුවක් නැහැ. අද තියෙන තාක්ෂණික ගැටලුව. මගේ ස්ථාවරේ නම් මොහොත වෙනස් වෙලා නැහැ. මම තියාගන්න. එදත් මම දරපු ස්ථාවරය තමයි අදත් ගන්න. වාසියක් තාක්ෂණික කටයුතු හොඳට දාන්න.
මම දකින ප්‍රධානම දේ තමයි මේ අරුබුද වලට ප්‍රධාන.
According to what I see, the main reason for these issues is the fact that the government does not give priority to solve the issues of the public. They give priority to securing their power. They asked for 2/3 majority in parliament. The people did not give it. They gave various perks and benefits and told the people to maintain them. Now they have collected a number of people to reach the 2/3 majority. What are they using this majority for? It is not being used to grant relief to the people, remove 17 and bring in the 18th amendment. Tell me, does the government show the same urgency they showed when handling the impeachment motion when tackling public issues?
18 ඉවත් කළ 18 දාගන්න. දැන් දෝෂාභියෝගයට තිබුණු හදිස්සිය සහ උමනාව ජනතා ප්‍රශ්න වෙනුවෙන් ආණ්ඩුව දීලා තියෙනවද කියලා අපිට කියන්න පුළුවන් නේද?
The body of a woman was found in the sea close to Bambalapitiya this evening. The police said that the identity of the deceased remains unknown. The body of the woman, which was seen at sea close to the Bambalapitiya railway station, was brought ashore this evening. The corpse was taken to the National Hospital thereafter. The police said the deceased appeared to be around 40 years of age. Investigations are underway to determine the identity of the deceased.
Well, it's time now for the newspaper cartoon of the day.
Before taking a look at sports news, on some local news, the 15 suspects who were arrested for using illegal fishing equipment that led to the death of dolphins in the seas of Kalpitiya were remanded until the 15th of this month after being produced before the Putlam Magistrates Court.
The police who commenced an investigation into the deaths of dolphins in the seas of Kalpitiya have taken into custody lila nets and 6 motorboats used for fishing purposes. Speaking at an event in Udaipur, Minister of Fisheries and Aquatic Resource Development Rajitha Senaratne commented on this incident.
No one was arrested within 24 hours. No arrests were made at the time I inquired. At around midnight, I made a phone call to Colonel Fernando of the President's Security. I also spoke to the Navy Commander. Thereafter, law was implemented. I will not allow any illegal equipment to be used. Please do not come to meet me regarding this. The former Navy Commander had not taken any action. I mentioned that to the President as well. I told him that it was no point in appointing him because he didn't do anything. It is difficult to monitor the ocean if the Navy doesn't support us. Am I to stay on land and stop lila nets and dynamites from being used? They don't use dynamites on the beach. They use it in the sea. If the Navy provides me with 5 boats, then I will go and look into it.
Now, after this news item was aired on the 7 p.m. primetime news bulletin on our sister channel Sirasa TV, former Navy Commander Somathilaka Disanayaka contacted our news desk and expressed the following views.
It is saddening that a responsible minister of the government made such a statement. First, I need to state that any commander of a military force in this country receives instructions from the President, the Defence Secretary or the Minister of Defence. We are not bound to carry out the instructions of any minister. There was no such tradition in the past, and I hope that this would not occur in the future. The second issue I would like to note is that the President appointed me the Navy Commander because I was experienced and because I had sacrificed nearly 35 years of my life to the war in the country. When I retired, it was the President who promoted me to the rank of a 4-star Admiral because I carried out my duty well. I do not need to be endorsed by anyone else. However much the military forces sacrifice their lives, there are always some who criticize us. We bear such criticisms. I also need to tell the Minister that if he has any issue with military personnel, he should take it up with the President as it comes under his purview, without making public statements. The audience should decide how ethical these comments made by him are.
සදාචාරාත්මකද කියන එක මම හිතන්නේ මේ ප්‍රේක්ෂක ජනතාව තීරණය කර යුතුයි කියන එකයි.
You're watching Primetime News live here on News First. Up next is Action TV.
The head of the Finance Division of the National Aquatic Resources Research and Development Agency, or NARA, was sent on mandatory leave with effect from yesterday. Speaking to Action TV, Chairman of NARA, Dr. S.G. Samrasundara stated that the head of the Finance Division was sent on mandatory leave in order to carry out an inquiry about the financial decisions taken by her during her tenure in office. Since the 8th of December last year, Action TV has highlighted on numerous occasions several decisions taken by the head of the Finance Division of NARA. One such decision taken by the head of the Finance Division at NARA was to take 87 million rupees which NARA had invested in treasury bills and turn them into fixed deposits without the prior approval of the NARA administration or the treasury. Action TV revealed, citing a letter from the head of the Finance Division of NARA to the Secretary to the subject ministry, that NARA had incurred a loss of nearly 30 million rupees due to this decision. This letter was sent to the Secretary of the subject ministry following a letter sent to her to provide reasons as to why a decision was taken to move the money from treasury bills to fixed deposits. This letter requested the Secretary of the subject ministry to take a neutral role in this issue regarding her decision to transfer the money. 4 months ago, the subject ministry took steps to call on the services of a retired government official to look into yet another decision taken by the head of the Finance Division at NARA. This investigation looked into the allocation of over 30 million rupees being used to construct a boat without proper approval. The boat in question, which cannot be used, has been anchored in the Hamilton Canal for over an year. Moreover, NARA spends a sum of nearly 50,000 rupees on a monthly basis on this boat. Speaking to Action TV, the chairman of NARA reiterated that the manner in which the head of the Finance Division handled the payments received from the consultancy services done during the Colombo Port expansion project will also be looked into. He added that he was able to stop the head of the Finance Division from removing several files and folders from vicinity of NARA at around 10 p.m. in the night. With the head of the Finance Division being sent on mandatory leave, an individual who is at the age of retiring has been hired on a contract basis for a period of 3 months. She has been hired as the Director of Finance at NARA. However, the Department of Management Services has not approved such a position for NARA.